Another Danganronpa episode. This time it's part 18, I believe. Yep. Where we last left off, we were still in the trial. I can't tell if my cord is it connecting? Okay. Okay. So where we last left off, we were figuring out who killed Hifumi and Taka, and who's framing, well, Yasuhiro, I believe. So now, Kyoko's going to tell us how Hifumi was being moved, because we already saw how he got moved. And he wasn't moved with the suit, neither was Hifumi, so something else moved him. And now she's going to tell us. Okay, let me remember the voice. Well, what if I told you there was a way to make possible impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
It isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? I think it is. I should believe Kyoko. And other people. And I think you're hiding shit, Celeste. I already pointed out a bunch of stuff before. Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
that's too slow.
There's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone...
Fuck. I forgot how to...
else's discovery.
Shit. I meant to... Wait. Was it hold triangle? I think it was hold triangle. Yeah, hold down. Okay.
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance you...
No.
It is Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body, and that is why...
Are we really... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Okay, let's do it.
Are you saying that when we first
found Hifumi, there's a chance he was...
No.
It is Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No.
No, that's wrong!
You heard my man Makoto. Wait, I just realized something.
Was the body discovery announcement that...
Hold on. Actually, hold on. Where are my skills? What happened to my skills? Or is my skill still on? I actually don't know because I... Hold on. Oh, maybe it's because I lost a lot of health. That's why I'm thinking, okay.
was made really intended for Hifumi?
Okay.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. The first time it was played when we found each body in the nurse's office and in the equipment room. And the second time was when we found both bodies were discovered.
I got it!
Rediscovered.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. The body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, you may... Yeah.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet, meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
That's because you're trying to make sure it's not... You're so suspicious, Celeste. I'm going to blame everything on you until you find me dead, okay? There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive, or if you find it and show it to everyone. Okay. The argument, Hifumi's glasses. Yes. Could you hurry
Well,
up?
here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw it was in the
But when you compare his body before being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Oh, fuck.
Shoot!
Shit. That was my first...
Well, here's one thing we do. The first time we found him, and then his body
And the next time it was in...
But when you compare his body before, other than the change,
There was no notable difference.
Oh, this was... Wrong!
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi and the nurse's office, his glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
Lather.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
But then... they were
But when we
spotless.
found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Yep.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Glasses cleaning cloth. Where is it?
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
the character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses' own?
That's a good point.
They would have gotten rid
Then it must have been him, right?
Yeah, like there's no point in cleaning him off when there's still blood on him.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be... What was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
Nope.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it!
Ha.
It could only have
Freaking
been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking, so me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Which one is he? There's 2 pieces of paper. Is it Taka's this one or the note?
I got it!
I'm going to say this.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note said.
The pants. I found the hole, maybe. I forgot about that. It was stuffed in his pants. Like, we can't find out. So don't tell anyone else for now. That's weird.
Ah! That's the note I was telling you about! The one that told me where to go! Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi. Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
You can just hijack his seriously stay, but still, I can't let it get to me. I'm gonna freaking school this murderer. Yeah, let's do this. Freaking broken wristwatch.
Huffy had the note, right?
hold on.
Then the
Wait,
person
how
it was
do I-
intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, I didn't want to fuck.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended must have been Happy!
But remember what time did it?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
The broken witch
No,
thought
that's
so
wrong.
otherwise. Yeah.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole?
Where's your proof?
Does it really matter? Okay.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from, I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Then he would still be here, wouldn't he? I mean, he would still be here in the courtroom, right? Unless Makuma would hide him.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, the second body discovery announcement proves that.
It's not entirely true, because after it was announced, and Tina dropped like a tear from... He woke up, but then he passed out again. Which doesn't make, like, whatever.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after...
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibi.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah! It's packed in there good and tight.
Why does he look like he has an angry expression?
He's right, though.
I don't know.
I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of them? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill...
The weapon that was used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure out. Somehow I have to find the truth. I think I know what it is. There was a clean, spotless hammer. Yeah.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it just his hammer? Maybe just his hammer.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing. How was the culprit able to move around so how did nobody witness that?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/.
Well, one thing seems pretty... The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No,
No, that's wrong.
it's a regular hammer. They didn't design it, but they still used
The
it.
murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there won't be any reason for anybody. At least that's what we figure out. But there's, but... Well, if there were two murderers, though. Then they would both benefit, right?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for even if more than one person is only the one who actually carried out the act can, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible.
That is how the rule was
But that only really applies if there's... In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Shit!
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is how the...
But that only really applies if there's... In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate, assuming the rule holds true. It is...
No, that's wrong!
Yeah, impossible. My ass, Celeste.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been 1 murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only 1 person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, Then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act. Murdering Taka, they made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Yuko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this series as connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Yuko really is amazing as well. When you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, almost unnatural how good she is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulating Hifumi's carried out a number of actions, and in the end murdered him. In the debates up to now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only one person who seems to fit. I know who it is. The person who keeps challenging me. The one who's most suspicious. You.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke?
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
What, are you French now? This is Japanese. Don't get your freaking
Just
things
to be
mixed
clear,
up.
there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you.
It's true.
Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
The screaming. The screaming, encountering this
I got it!
guessing this one.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw shadows, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste was wrong. That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. The son, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he had... Here.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Was that Came from downstairs. It must have been me. Yep.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
It's true. Then why didn't we split up into 2 groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That sounds more interesting. Makoa and Hina, you come with me to the nurse. Why me and Hina? Because that's what really weirds me out, but okay. Okay. I guess because they have more of a chance of capturing this. Okay.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Oh yeah, they must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us staying around, frying and confused. We're all gonna die here. We're gonna die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover, then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you if you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Yaka said this. But what is he alluding to? We already know, Makoto.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be positive. We are all going to die. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, I meant...
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be... We are going to die. Just... And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was
so strange about Celeste's comment?
Okay.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing. They must be positive. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like those...
No, that's wrong.
Haha.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for her.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? so she could have been dead too.
Ooh. That's true.
You all have such vivid
Like
imaginations.
this
You
too.
know that?
Okay. You all...
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
Oh, I know what
How
to
do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
I know.
It has to be some kind of setup, so let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanation. I know what it is. If it wasn't a picture of a suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Hifumi is... I've been drinking.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The
Judging
one
by
being
how-
dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragged the suspect. But is that really possible? No, there isn't. You're screwed, Celeste. I will screw you over. Get ready. Robo Justice costume, or is it Robo Justice blueprints?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry. You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could
Stand up straight like that.
Ah, fuck! It's...
Shoot!
Wrong one. It's the...
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi. You tried to make me look like...
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside, there's no way.
They could stand up straight like...
No, that's wrong!
Yeah! In your face, Celeste.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
It didn't bend at the waist, bitch. You can't totally bend at the waist. Seems like a totally obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the way.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh god, she's going
Celeste?
crazy.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hifumi, who was it? Who was that exactly? Who tried to kill you? Kill me? That's why I remember they made Hero.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
That's true. But are we sure that it's actually the Yasuhiro that we know?
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Don't make you sound suspicious.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro. But are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Yeah, this makes you more suspicious, by the way. Acting this way.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Huh. I think he referred to last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last name!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first
He
name.
wouldn't change up his ways.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal.
Yeah, that's true.
But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Oh no, but you sure act like one.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine! Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Time to fucking bust you, Celeste. The E-handbook, bitch. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name.
If there's one person here who...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told it.
How many times do I have to... My name? Celestia Ludenberg, God!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. And since you have no way to
contradict me...
Bitch!
No,
We've
that's
already
wrong!
seen this happen once before.
That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
If you don't show it, you're even... That means you give up. Yeah, whatever. Handbook.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up. That's how we can find out Celeste's real...
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
If you refuse to cooperate, that means you give up and you'll be found guilty then. You'll be found
Celeste,
guilty.
can you please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because... Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crime. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Yeah, Celeste. Okay. Let me figure out what the hell to do. Where am I? I don't know if this is... Okay. I think this is... I think it's this. Okay, and then... guessing it's this. Which one was used to... was one of the... I think it was 4. Because 3 was used to hack Fumi, but it was fake. So... frickin'... Is it this one? No. I'll figure it out. Okay. Shit, okay. Man, I think it's this, and then... Ew. So 2, I'm guessing.
The killer is you!
Let's see it.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Yep. Here we go.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crime. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack store. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that store. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our mind that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
That's a nice dance move, I gotta say, though.
Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Oh, you lose, Celeste.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
Well, he does take charge. Well, besides from Kyoko and possibly Byakuya, but that's besides the point.
I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
Taiko? I thought it was Taiko.
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
And why didn't you admit it the first time you got found out? Okay, whatever. I got B? Where was that shit? I don't like that B. Where was that? I got B? Oh, that was because... shit. Okay. Shit.
Okay,
Got so
Monokuma.
many coins, I forgot.
I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blacken? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
You already know what's it gonna be. I see Monokuma in there. Let's see.
What?
Okay. Now I gotta do the voices again. Shit. It's been a while. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The Blacken this time, the true killer who devised the whole sticking scheme was...
Ta-da!
Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's aptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I don't have to lie to get to him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, I knew you'd figure out Yoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
I used her. Her? It's a he. Okay. Actually, it's an it, but okay. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean she talked about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What? What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other words...
And you're the one who had stolen it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting, Bao disappeared. I paid Hifumi a little visit. I gotta do the voice. So why are you here? What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What?
What?
Are you okay with this?
Taka. He stole it.
Yeah.
What?
So then...
I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken, to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. How'd you get into Taka's room? That's what I don't understand. Did frickin' Monokuma allow you to get into his room? That's the most weirdest part. Because he wasn't dead, so you could have taken his key to plant the stuff. I guess it doesn't matter, okay. I deleted the picture as soon as I shown it to Fumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either one of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night, unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
What? That grunt. And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. How did he took pictures? Is there another camera around here? Wait, hold on. Are you talking about the pictures from your camera? Because isn't that the only camera? Where are other cameras? I guess from the store, because I guess they can order stuff from the store, just like how I can. But I don't know about that. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime. It's an absolute crime. I knew he gotten a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how he completely bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I have never said before in my life.
Completely
I'm gonna
unforgivable!
fucking kill him!
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean. Taka is going to try to kill you.
What?
What?
indeed.
And also he could keep her to himself. That bastard.
Completely unforgivable!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Then would you join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I'll devise this way to reclaim what has been stolen and escape this dreadful school. If that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Ifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that the item had on him was remarkable. Power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can be still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him was to make a simple something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why do you decide to make me the suspect? Because you are stupid.
Huh?
That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like you could cry.
Well,
Oh crap, you Sakura's voice. But when were you explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretend to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say that he'd been seriously wounded and he was on the verge of death. But he just barely had to hold on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Fumi, the plan was, while you all were questioning about what happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At the point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. But he didn't question who you were going to murder? That should have been what he should have asked. He should have asked who she was going to murder before doing anything else. But okay. I guess she wouldn't tell him, that's why. You know, seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if one pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
Well, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
And what made things and what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? You talked about the $10 million Monokuma offered us. That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here have begun, my only thought has been to escape.
But...
For all along, you've been saying, oh, we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from the day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was a fresh torture. Now, do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make that metaphorical killing.
As for me,
it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
Isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. Oh god. That looks like Byakuya right there, I just realized. That hair in the very right corner area. Like not the very right, but left to that right person. That definitely looks like his hair. Then it looks like Makoto to the left of him. And another character further in the game. Okay. And that looks... I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtain that, I'll create a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. Decadence? I don't know.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. You're a selfish bitch is what you are. Some sort of gold digger, I feel like. That's what life was all about. If you wanted money, you could have just sucked up to Byakuya. Hell, he'll give you money just for the hell of it. You don't even have to work for it. That's what he said to me. You could have earned money like it was nothing. I would have. If that's what you wanted, money. If you want money, you could have just gone to Byakuya. Freaking. But instead, you had to kill. Okay. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
there is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end. So why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh!
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing. Exactly. You're a demon, a witch, a robot of some sort.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. That doesn't make you complete. That just makes you a freaking heartless monster. That's what makes you not human. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room No room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, but Ain, and plus, how could you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unraveled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even fool my own emotions. The consciousness deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right, I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had the choice then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey!
Just be executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Okay. Are you all done? Okay, then let's get rolling. The black can disturb the peace. It must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I hope not. I really don't. I don't care where you are in life. I mean, sure. Sure, there are stuff why there's still stuff later on in this story that makes you innocent, but I still believe you're an asshole. No matter if you're alive or not. Oh, the burning of Vesali's witch. Here we go. Burned at the stake. Or just... Oh, I don't know. This music. Oh, there's a fire truck. Oh, it's coming to save her. No. And slam dunk. Nailed it. Great job, Monokuma. You put out the fire. Oh, that's funny. Did I hear... Wait, what was that? I heard like footsteps in the background of that. I don't know if that's in the game or is it... Okay. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I consider I wouldn't consider my friend. Fuck her. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but a person like that, I know. I mean, I understand dreams, but that dream was just a selfish one at best. And for him to just come along and Isn't that just awful? Somebody couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world. And so people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value in your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were going to pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad!
You're all in the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is. But that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you going to make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
I am so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
What's that? So what's the deal with that?
Wah?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh!
What?
Hey,
It's me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh!
Oh.
How exciting!
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh man. Oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? Mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time to get out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys could go and enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
See you later. Makuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Makuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Anyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You. Please let me go. Staying here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm going to go to the dining hall too, okay?
Huh?
So Mikado and Kyoko are going to go together? Wait, are you jealous? Is that why you blessed me? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Mikado. Feels like you're told when you show a little battle. Sure, Mikado's into her, but I don't know if he should. I tried to forget what he just said. Everyone heard. Dining hall, leaving me Kyoko there.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. As the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came!
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe. Thanks goodness. Thank goodness. I've never seen hear Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word and I stayed quiet for the entire time.
So?
Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. That's good. Sweet. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. Officially? I don't know about that. There's still a lot of cases. Like the mystery of the school, what's going on with you, if there's still a spy, and a whole bunch of stuff about this mastermind. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we talk a second? Take a second? Since we both have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at school?
You...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like, what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. Explanation? When you do that...
Indeed.
It's only natural that they think kinda mastermind spy, right? And you too? No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
And maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believed in her, and she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable, I decided I had to confirm what she had told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it off, actually. So, I'm going to save right here. And then go end it right there. So in the next part, so for the next part that I'm going to do, I don't know when I'm going to do the next part of the episode. I'll probably do it, if you want to see more of Danganronpa, just tell me. And if you want to see more cool stuff, maybe other games like Fortnite or GTA, or maybe Fallout's, I don't know what that's called, hold on, 76. So yeah, if you want me to like play Fallout 76, that like online game version of Fallout, that'd be interesting. Actually, I have played it before and I've made my character, and there's some interesting stuff that I want to see. I actually want to explore some stuff. So yeah, if you want to see some of that, just tell me. Anyways, the next part is probably going to come out soon. I don't know when. Probably Friday. I'll probably have somebody else with me though. That way I can make things interesting for my videos, if you want. I'm going to involve some of my family members in here. That way I could get reactions on them, and you can hear it. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're going to hear them, but okay. But I'll figure it out. Anyways, I'll see you next time.